Hello, hope you are well. I don't think I've made a video for a couple of weeks, maybe. I've been gone. I've just been enjoying life, not working. I've purchased some stuff. And some of you have mentioned that you wanted me to do a video about new stuff that I've picked up. So I pulled some stuff out, both movies and music. This is going to be one of those I'm going to show stuff videos. So I hope you enjoy it. And I have been picking it up a little bit lately with my purchasing. Usually in the spring and summer months, the releases just get more plentiful. When you get into the winter and well, fall, not so much, but starting in November all the way through like February or so, there's always kind of a lull with releases. And then when spring kicks up, the companies release a lot of stuff. And so there's been a lot of things that I've picked up, both old and new. And what I mean by that are new releases of old stuff. So let's get right into it because I'm looking at the stack of stuff I have over here, and there's quite a lot of things I'm going to talk about. But good to see you guys. I hope you guys enjoy this. Again, I've been lying low, man. I've been enjoying what life has to offer while not working. And these have become my favorite moments of life where I just kind of zone out and not do anything and avoid humanity. I'm having one of those periods in my life where I'm disengaging from everything, just society in general. It can be fun, but I'm kind of emerging right now. It's not a negative thing, by the way. Sometimes I just need a week or two to just disengage, man. Don't you guys feel that way? Humans exhaust me, especially after my last job where I had to be surrounded by people of all ages all day who had various problems and drama and melodrama, and it was exhausting. So I've been enjoying just disengaging from humanity for a couple weeks, and that includes doing videos. I do have some videos planned to do. I'm not going anywhere. I'm not going away or going anywhere, but I just haven't been in the mood, man. All right, here's some new stuff. The majority of this stuff is still sealed. I just got this stack of records the other day, just a couple days ago. So yeah, I haven't even opened these. So I'm not going to be showing the vinyl and the labels on this video. I'm just going to be showing things very quickly so I can move on to the next thing. Because yeah, I have quite a stack of stuff over here. This was a record I wasn't sure I wanted. In fact, I initially decided I wasn't going to get it because the digital version has more tracks. But when I was making my purchase at Juno, I made a big purchase at Juno a few days ago. Um, I just threw it in the stack because I already had so many things in there, and I was looking at this, and I do love Harmonia. I have all their records anyway. So I just thought, well, I'm going to grab it. The digital version has more tracks, though. This is a reissue of this album, by the way. And there is classic album, by the way. If you like, well, I don't know. If you don't know who Harmonia is, I recommend you just go check them out. Discover them on your own. I'm giving you some navigation here, but go check this out. In terms of music that was way ahead of its time, and you haven't heard these guys, go check them out. These guys were a precursor to all the experimental music that you love today. Not the band, just a band that led to that. Very influential band. And this reissue has a bunch of remixes on it. It's a double album, and it has remixes from Herbert. Herbert's on here. He was the main reason I wanted to get this. I love Matthew Herbert. Anything Matthew Herbert has ever done, especially the shit he did in the 90s. Oh my God, what a star. But anyway, Harmonia, I picked that up. That's an RSD release, Record Store Day. I can be a contradictory bastard. I had decided I'm not buying any RSD releases this year. Fuck RSD. I'm tired of this shit. I'm tired of the silly prices, which is true. Their prices are ridiculous. Like records like this, the day it came out on Record Store Day at Juno, this was like $50 to buy a 2 record release. And then I just purchased it last week and the price went down to like 28 or 27 or something. So yeah, it's like if you buy things on RSD, you're getting fucked. Like openly so. They're not even trying to hide it. That was when I first saw this listed. I'm like, there's no way I'm buying that for $50. And then last week it was 27. So I was like, oh, really, Juno? Okay. Um, that's the price you pay for having to buy things on record store day. It's ridiculous. Okay, moving on to the next thing. This is, and most of these I haven't actually dropped the needle down on yet. I listened to some, I listened to some samples on Juno as I always do. But this, and there's another one to this medium ambient collection. There's one with a white cover too, but this is like a Japanese ambient collection. Basically, music in the ambient vein made by Japanese artists. And man, this is cool. The white one I have with the white cover, excuse me, having a hard time breathing here. The one with the white cover is really nice, really cool. This is really good. It's just I'm fascinated with Japanese culture. Get some tea in me there, and their music and their philosophies and their movies. And in fact, I have a Japanese movie here I'm going to talk about. But this is excellent. I mean, if you like ambient music, and who doesn't? If you don't, you got something wrong with you. This is a really cool collection. I had to have this. This, I already talked about this. This is the Beth Gibbons album, Lives Outgrown. It's kind of a cool release. It's got like a booklet and an art print, and I'm not going to crack it open. Sorry. This video will be an hour long if I do stuff like that. Oh yeah, a 12-page studio scrapbook. 12-page, and more like a mini pamphlet than a book, but it's a nice release. I cracked it open and inspected its contents. I would recommend getting this. It wasn't obscenely expensive either. I think I paid $30 for that maybe. Oh, and this is one of those things I listened to a couple of samples too on Juno, and it was just kind of a faith purchase. This is the new Speedy J and Surgeon record. And as I was listening to the samples, it sounds exactly what you would think a Speedy J and Surgeon record would sound like. Really intense, abrasive beats and noise and industrial ambience. You know, the kind of music those two guys make. And anything with Speedy J on it, I'll just immediately grab. I like Surgeon too, but not as much as Speedy J. Speedy J is a legend, and Speedy J and Surgeon are together on this record. What is this even called? I don't know. Multiples, they're calling themselves. I can't even read this. 2 hours of something. It's so dark in here. 2 hours of something. It's sorry for the lighting, by the way. It's like 11:30 in the morning, and it's dark. We're in the middle of like a downpour right now. It's raining, just pissing down rain. We're in the middle of a atmospheric river, I believe they call it. That's what the newscasters, the weather people, the meteorologists call it. Whatever. They have to justify their existence by coming up with these ridiculous terms. Atmospheric river. Sounds like a psych band from the 60s or something. But anyway, sorry for the darkness. It's dark here. This happens in the Pacific Northwest. It rains and gets cloudy and it's dark at noon. Anyway, Speedy J and Surgeon under the name of Multiples. And they're always worth it. Especially Speedy J. I've always been a fan of his. This is just a couple of names that I usually just pick up on faith. Greg Foat, G.G. Mason. By the way, I don't know if I mentioned it. When I did my favorite albums of the year video, 5 months ago or whatever it was, 6 months ago, I talked about the Greg Foat albums that came out last year, and he found my video. So Greg Foat, this is one of the cool things about having a channel is these guys find you. If you do a video on these people, they might find you. Anyway, Greg Foat reached out to me and he was really nice and he thanked me. So Greg, if you watch this video, thank you. Thank you for the great music. And recording with this guy. This is awesome too. Honestly, one of my favorite Greg Foat Mason releases in general. Just really nice, lovely, lovely music. Anything these two guys do is worth your time and effort. So that's an RSD release as well. Okay, this was one I was super excited to pick up. This is check that out. Brian Eno, Holger Zuke, right? And Peter Schwalm. I'm gonna leave it at that. You guys can go do your research. I haven't even cracked this open, but I saw those names and I was like, oh my God, I gotta get this. It's basically a live concert. It's a double album, a live show that they did. When did they do this? Let's see. Sushi Roddy. I'm not even gonna try to say that. The name of the album's right there. And people don't. I don't care. I don't care what this says. I'm not going to try to speak a language I don't speak. Okay, I look stupid enough as it is. Someone inevitably is going to say, you pronounce it this way. Here's how you say it. Just look at the cover and figure it out. Brian Eno, Holger Zuke from Cannes. This is worth picking up. Just look at those names. This is a live album, and I don't think this has ever been released. I think that was the tag. Released on vinyl, maybe that was the caveat. Maybe it has been released, just not on wax. I don't know. Either way you cut it, I'm excited to have this. I'm excited to have anything from Cannes or Brian Eno. And by the way, I will do a Cannes video at some point in the future. People have requested that. Of course I have all the Cannes records. I love Cannes, like anybody does. Anybody with a pulse. I will do a Cannes video at some point in the future. I picked this up. More Japanese stuff. You see the Obi strip right here. Alpha Yen Records. Alpha was a Japanese label. I think was. I don't think they're around anymore. But this is a collection, as you can see, of 80s electronic rock ambient music. Alpha was a label that put out a lot of stuff, like YMO, Yellow Magic Orchestra, was just one example of that. And in fact, I think they're on here. Yeah, first track. This is just kind of compiles a lot of stuff that came out on that label in the 80s. It's a collection of electronic pop music, basically, Japanese. Very important. I love Japanese music, and I was stoked to get this. So this is another gem for my collection. Here's another gem. Yes. Claremont 56 Records. This is their new compilation. I think this is the fourth one, right? Is this number 4? I think this is the fourth one. These guys are like a Balearic label. In my opinion, they're the best Balearic label in existence right now. Claremont's just one of those labels that no matter what they put out, you buy it. You don't need to hear it. It's just always good. Sometimes it's much better than others, but these compilations are fantastic. This has got most of the artists that come out on this label, they all get together and put a special track on these compilations. You get Hillside, you get Mud, Bell. I don't know that I know Bell. Here's one, Fearby, Masoso, and Faber. I don't know that one. Smith and Mud. It's so dark in here, I can't read this. New Mayor Station. I don't know that name. Yamp. Don't know that name. Ferdy Schuster. I know Ferdy Schuster. Ferdy put an album out on Claremont. And then Here and Now. Here and Now is the crown jewel of this label. I love Here and Now. They have 3 albums out. You should buy all of them. Here and Now. Go look them up, guys. Here and Now is amazing. One of my favorite artists. Whenever I see Here and Now on anything, I pick it up. I don't hesitate. I just get it. I buy it. And these are all numbered. I told you this was going to be a long, rambling video. I warned you. They're always numbered. You can see this. Well, you can kind of see it, sort of. And this is sealed still, but someone pulled this up. So I'm guessing Claremont sealed the records and then manually numbered them. Usually they number them and then seal them, but it looks like in this case they sealed it and then had to break the seal to number it. This is number 373 of 600, by the way. Nice little touches, handwritten. Someone actually grabbed a pin, pulled the cap off of it, in this case tore the seal open, and then wrote the number. It gives a little special, unique flair to it. But Claremont, people, anything on Claremont, just pick it up. It's absolutely worth it. Yeah. Take my recommendation on that. This one, this is one of those purchases. I think I put it in my cart and I forgot that I had it in there. Not that I don't love Paul Weller. This is the new Paul Weller album. I don't know if I needed it on vinyl, but hey, it's too late now. I own it. And I do have a number of Paul Weller solo records. Most of what I have from Paul Weller is the Style Council. I love the Style Council and everything he did with them. His solo stuff is hit and miss with me. This is just, I don't know, I saw it and I put it in my cart and I think I forgot it was in there. But whatever, it's Paul Weller. How do you not love Paul Weller? I think there's some special guests. So this is limited edition blue vinyl. I didn't notice that. I think he's got the usual. He always has guests on his records like Noel Gallagher, and someone always pops up. But, Paul Weller is one of those guys that never goes away, and he shouldn't. The new Paul Weller album. Enjoy. This is the new Max Skiba and Snacks record on Skylax. Skylax is a French label, and they do house and techno music. But old school, this always kind of has a 90s flair to it. DJ Sprinkles has put out stuff on this label before. That is definitely a person I will be doing a video on. Terry Timlitz, DJ Sprinkles, an absolute raging genius. But I'll do that at some point. And I have thought about doing that. Yeah, why haven't I done a Sprinkles video, for God's sakes? Anyway, this is Skylax, the label. Yeah, if you like 90s era house, good, like deep house, not like wailing vocals, strictly rhythm style house. If you like the more, like the deeper sound of even US house, a lot of the stuff I hear, and this is a French label, but when I hear this label, it reminds me of a lot of those underground New York, even in some Chicago, US 90s house music stuff you'd find on labels like 8 Ball. I've probably lost a lot of you, but there are a lot of underground house labels that existed in the 90s. And this label this label seems to want to resurrect that to some degree. And it's a good label. I would recommend you pick up anything on Skylax. In fact, well, actually, I'm going to pause this video really quick. I need to find something. Hang on a second. I'm back. Sorry about that. I had to take a bit of a break there. All right, so this is my next new release. This is the new release on Giegling. And I've talked about Giegling before. This is a German label. They release their records with absolutely no fanfare. They're a very mysterious label. You don't know a lot about the artists that are on this label. You don't know a lot about the label itself. But one thing we do know is that the quality of their records and music is usually really, really obscenely high. My favorite artist on the Giegling label is, his name's Raphael Vogel. He says it Les Far Lagave. He basically reverses his name. That's my favorite artist. They used to have Tromprins on there. Tromprins left. He's not on the label anymore. He goes under a multitude of different names like DJ Metatron and DJ Healer, which is all amazing stuff. He is an amazing producer and has a very intense, rabid fan base, as he should. He's got fantastic music, and his stuff used to come out on Giegling pretty much exclusively, but he left the label over really dumb reasons, in my opinion. But this is the new Giegling, or newish Giegling release. This has remixes. This is Lawrence, by the way, the Epiphany remixes. And this has a remix from Low Tech on it. And I love me some Low Tech. The other remixes on here are very good. I can't even remember the names of the other artists on here. I don't remember. And there's no track listing on these records either, so you'll have to, they put the track listing in the dead wax on these things, so you have to kind of search around for it. I'm not going to do that right now, but, oh, now this was a reissue. This is Flowered Up, A Life with Brian. Anyone remember these guys? They did one album, and this is it. They were British fellas. They just did goofy, kind of strange pop music. And I think over the years they're probably most well known for their Andy Weatherall remixes of Weekender. That's what the way I remember it. That's what really put them over the top. At least that's their most long-standing track. Maybe is the Weatherall remix, and it's on here. One of them. There are two Weatherall remixes, and they're both epic. One's like 15 minutes, and the other one's 17 minutes. One of those Weatherall mixes is here. They reissued this on double vinyl here. This originally came out on a single record, which I have stashed away in my archive somewhere. But the first disc has the album, and then the second disc has the original version of Weekender, which the original version is like 12 minutes. And then it's got one of the Weatherall mixes. In my opinion, the lesser of the two. Both remixes are amazing. Weatherall brings it. They put the shorter, the 15-minute version here. I like the 17-minute version a little better. I mean, you've got to have both, really, I think. But I like that they put the original version of Weekender on here because it is a great song. I just like this band. I bought the reissue, and here it is. Going strong at 22 minutes. I warned you. More Greg Foat. This isn't exactly new. I think this has been out for 3 or 4 months now, but I haven't done a newish video for a while. Greg Foat, live at Via Maximus Mykonos. I don't know. I'm not going to try to pronounce that. I hope I came close. Really good record. It's Greg Foat. Come on. When does Greg Foat ever make bad music? Have you ever known Greg Foat to make bad music? Speaking of artists that aren't known to make bad music, it's James Clemens. James, how are you, buddy? I interviewed James, I don't know, God, was it February now? It's been 3 or 4 months now, at least. I think this is his new record. The fucking guy puts out so much music, you can't keep up with it. And it's all good. This is Reflections on Spatial, his label, his own label, Spatial Records. And this is just, it's ASC. It's James Clemens. I mean, again, the dude doesn't put out bad music. He just doesn't have it in him. He has one speed, and it's awesome. Awesome speed. These records I am going to show, actually, now that I think about it. These are so whacked out. Really, really creative. I don't have any, of all the records I own, I don't have any that look like this. Look at that. How cool is that? And it looks cool spinning on your turntable. Yeah, I have to show this. That's disc 1. James, this is a fantastic album. And I'm sorry if this is not your most recent album. I can't keep up. You put out so much music, man. I can't always keep up with whatever your latest release is. So I'm pretty confident this is his most recent album. I feel like maybe he's put out a 12-inch since. Here's disc 2. Look at this. How cool is this, man? Yeah. The A and C sides, though, look at that. It's pretty. It's like a bad psychedelic dream. I mean that in a good way. Spinning on the turntable, it looks really cool, and it sounds good. It's a good pressing. So, James, as always, thank you for the music. Thank you for your time when we did the interview. James is a hell of a nice guy, and his music is even nicer. His music's fucking beautiful. And then he put out another record from his buddy Aural Imbalance. I do want to make it clear, Aural Imbalance is not James. Go watch my ASC video. A few of you, when I did my ASC video last year, were under the impression that Aural Imbalance was James. It's not. It's somebody else. So let me clear that up. I got to show this too. You get some crazy looking vinyl on this too. Really. Looks like Halloween. It reminds me of Halloween. Leaves are falling. Reminds me of fall. How cool is that? Yeah, I don't own any records that look like this. I won't show you the other disc because it more or less looks exactly like this. Aural Imbalance is fantastic. This is beautiful music. I think, if I'm not mistaken, Aural Imbalance is a fella named Simon Huxtable, I think. Let me look at the guy. Simon Huxtable. I got it right. Not James Clemens. Simon Huxtable. More. Well, I was gonna try to come up with a bunch of stupid genre tags, but this is just beautiful electronic drum and bass music. You can align it or assign it to like that 90s vibe, but whatever. Try to free your mind of that shit and just listen to this. It's a beautiful album. Anything that comes out on this label, Spatial, is beautiful. Everything. I haven't heard anything that's bad from this label. James, as always, great work. This is the new Barack 12-inch I picked up. What's the name of this? Hypnotic Grayscale. This is one of those, talk about psychedelic. Whoa. I hope none of you are prone to seizures. Look at that. Barack is one of those guys that I want you guys to think my video was stuck. Brock's one of those guys from Romania. He's a Romanian techno guy, and anything he does, I just buy on faith. There are a few others that I will buy on faith from Romania. One of them is Petre Insprescu, who I think is a genius, although he hasn't put out anything in a long time. I don't know what happened to him. And then there's Radu. Radu is the other one that I absolutely love. Anything with their names on it, I will pick up, and Barack is the other one. There are three guys, those Romanian techno fellas, that I will just religiously pick up on sight. I don't need to hear it. This guy produces amazing techno music. Really deep, very atmospheric, very rhythmic, very hypnotic. Check this guy out if you have any affinity to techno, which I do. There's more. This I picked up. I remember this got released. This is Depeche Mode. This is a bootleg. This has a 16B remix of Enjoy the Silence. And I remember this came out probably a good 20 years ago, maybe 15. This isn't actually new, this remix. I remember it coming out a number of years ago, and I didn't pick it up because it was just, I don't know, it was a cheap bootleg, but I kind of regretted it because obviously I love Depeche Mode, but I love 16B as well. And it got me thinking too, I'm going to do a video on this guy. He is brilliant, or was brilliant. I don't know if he's around anymore, but 16B in the 90s and early 2000s released some of the best house records I've ever heard. This dude is a real talent. His name is Omid Nourizadeh, I think. Omid Nourizadeh. Brilliant guy. And he did a remix of Enjoy the Silence. It's one of the best remixes I've ever heard of it. On the B side, you get two old mixes. FK is Francois Kevorkian, and then the Ricky Tick dub. Both of those are Francois Kevorkian mixes. And those came out on the original 12 inches back in 1990. So you get two old classics, and then you get the newer 16B remix. It's Depeche Mode, and Juno had it. They sell bootlegs on Juno. They won't do it on Discogs. Discogs are a bunch of fucking pansies. They won't do that, but Juno will. So I picked it up. It's Depeche Mode. Come on, I have to have it. This is Gene on Earth, the Velvet Edge. I love this guy. He produces very 90s era sounding house music, but with flourishes of techno. It's very complicated, almost party house. It's not obnoxious though. It's not over the top. It always kind of has this darkness to it, burbling underneath. Fantastic producer. Love this guy. I pick anything up from Gene on Earth. Love him. I think he's German. Pretty sure he's a German fella. I don't know his real name. But anything from Gene on Earth, I pick up. It's just always good. Just really addictive, catchy. I don't want to say pop, but it dabbles with pop sensibilities. But it's dance music. It's club music. It's good music. And this is the last record I'm talking about before I move to my movies. I've been doing this for half an hour. I'm in a talkative mood today. Super boring cover. In fact, I don't even know the artist on here. I picked this up because it has a Axel Bowman remix on it. I love me some Axel Bowman. Go check out Axel Bowman. He's amazing. Crosstown Rebels. That's the artist here. Whatever. I don't even know who that is. I don't care. I saw Axel Bowman's name on here and I picked it up. Axel Bowman remixing Crosstown Rebels. There are some of my records I picked up from the last couple months. That's not even all of them. I picked up a lot of stuff. All right, here are the movies I picked up, and most of these, and if not all of them, are still sealed. I haven't even cracked these open yet. All kinds of still sealed, brand spanking, piping new things that I'm showing you. This is Narc. Jason Patric and Ray Liotta. Narc. In stunning HD. I haven't cracked the seal open, but I remember enjoying this movie. I didn't love it, but this new release has a wealth and plethora of bonus features on it, and I'm excited and eager to pop this into the 4K player and watch this again and revisit it. Because, yeah, this movie's been out for a while. And, you know, Jason Patric and Ray Liotta are in it, too. That should tell you that it's an older movie. Narc. This I just picked up on the recommendation of a friend. I have never seen this Lucio Fulci movie. This is City of the Living Dead. I've never seen this. A friend of mine recommended it. It's the Arrow release, and I thought, I'm picking this up. City of the Living Dead. It's a big box set. There's a bunch of shit in there. I haven't even opened it. I'm a little torn on Fulci. I don't always love his movies. You have to be careful with Arrow too, because they always put out the old movies they release always have these brilliant covers, and that sucks you in. And then you watch the movie, and it's like, oh, this is horrible. This movie's shit. This movie does not match the brilliance of the cover. So these guys are really good at advertising and marketing. Arrow is fantastic at that. But then, yeah, you'll sit down and watch the old movies, and you're like, oh, yeah, this is why I've never seen this. A friend of mine recommends City of the Living Dead, and I'm going to watch it. This is another movie I've never seen, but I've always wanted to see it. It was a 4K release, Belladonna of Sadness. This is a Japanese animated movie. Never seen it. But I've always wanted to, and now that it's 4K, I just thought, what perfect opportunity to see this. I love getting these, too, because of the artwork. I mean, look at that. A really cool cover. And yeah, I'm excited to get this. This is a real special time for 4K releases, man. I mean, studios are pulling out all the punches to release these 4K discs of these lesser known movies. I mean, there's so much good stuff out there. I'll buy movies that I've never seen before just to check it out. And again, I get sucked in by the artwork a lot. But I love Japanese culture and their movies and their take on things, their approach to life, their animation. I'm very much into it. I'm excited to see this. I've never seen it. Now, here's a movie we've all seen, and this is actually the first Batman movie I've ever purchased. This is the first Tim Burton Batman with Michael Keaton and Jack Nicholson and Kim Basinger and the Prince soundtrack, and came out on 4K. I thought, what better time to get it? 4K release. This is really, honestly, the only Batman movie I've ever liked. And I don't love this movie. I think it has a lot of problems. I do think this is the last decent Prince album that he ever made. After this, Prince albums just went down the shitter, in my opinion. And his soundtrack to this is by no means perfect either. But I do think it's the last good Prince album. Even while thinking I don't think his soundtrack was perfect for this movie, I never quite saw how it tied in. That was one of the distractions of this movie for me, personally. The Prince soundtrack, it just didn't really make sense. The movie was dark. It's Batman. I mean, it has to be, I guess. But the Prince soundtrack just didn't really align with the rest of how the movie looked to me. This movie doesn't work, but it is good. Its craft is good. Its acting is good. I think it's a good movie, but generally, I think it's a very flawed movie. But I'm eager to watch it again. And those of you who were alive when this movie came out, you will probably remember that this movie was a huge deal. This was the biggest movie to ever be released at that time in 1989. It was huge. The hype machine behind this was unrivaled and unparalleled. People were fucking beside themselves with excitement to see this movie, including myself. I was, 16 when this came out? So I do remember going and seeing it in the theater and feeling disappointed. I liked it, but was disappointed. And I think I've only seen it once since then. So I look forward to watching it again. Now, this is a movie I double dipped on. I have the Blu-ray of this, but I do love this movie so much, Crimson Peak, that I had to have it in 4K. It's a nice box set like the original version is. Actually, is this the third version I have? I have this on Blu-ray, and then I have that Guillermo del Toro box set that Criterion put out. It's got Pan's Labyrinth and Devil's Backbone, Kronos, and I think this, right? Is this with it? Maybe it's just those three. No, it's just those three. This isn't part of it, right? Yeah, okay. Okay, so this is double dip. It's not a triple dip. Sorry, years go by and you forget shit. Which, by the way, that Criterion box set with Pan's Labyrinth, Devil's Backbone, and Kronos, you gotta get it. It's brilliant. But Crimson Peak in 4K, somehow this movie got mixed reviews. I don't get it, man. This is a fantastic fucking movie. It's Guillermo del Toro. When has the guy ever made a movie that's any less than brilliant? I even like Pacific Rim. He was even able to make a douchey concept like that be good. Guillermo del Toro, one of our finest directors. The guy's a genius. And this is one of his best movies. I fucking love this movie. Jessica Chastain in this movie is amazing. I love Jessica Chastain. She is absolutely one of my favorite actors. Anytime she's in a movie, I'll stop and watch it. I don't care what it is. She is an amazing fucking actress. She's beautiful, obviously. Being easy on the eyes doesn't hurt, but she is an amazing actor. This might be her signature performance. She is fucking amazing in this movie. Guillermo Chastain, what are you waiting for? Go pick this up, for God's sakes. Now this is a movie I saw years ago. Peeping Tom, Criterion 4K. Haven't popped this in. You can see it's still sealed. I haven't watched this yet. Peeping Tom. I'm excited to see this again. I saw this years ago. I remember thinking it was, and I saw, well, maybe I saw this 20 or so years ago. This came out in the 60s. 1960, I think. Was it early 60s? Let me look at this. 1960, yeah. Right around the time Psycho got released. And this is one of those movies that obviously is very motivated and inspired by Alfred Hitchcock, but the director does something of his own here. I would recommend you watch this movie. It's very, very creepy in its day. In fact, it got banned in several countries. It's about a peeping Tom. I mean, the title is pretty appropriate. But yeah, this is a movie that got banned. It was seen as very racy and dangerous in its day. And I remember really enjoying this, and I very much look forward to popping in this 4K Criterion disc. I look forward to popping in any Criterion disc ever. They just do a great job. Now this is a release that has been out for a while, but I never picked it up. The Stash Box of Cheech and Chong's Up in Smoke. I didn't know this got released. It got recommended to me, and I was like, oh yeah, I need to have that. I love Cheech and Chong. I love these guys. I don't love their movies so much. This is the one exception. And people say it's the ultimate stoner movie. I would disagree with that. I think movies like Big Lebowski and Friday, and those are the ultimate stoner movies. I get why this is an ultimate stoner movie, but I just think those movies are much better than this. I like Cheech and Chong's albums. I grew up on their albums, and I really love their albums. I never really loved their movies. The one exception is Up in Smoke. I do like this movie. It's funny, it's fun, it's all the things you need in a comedy. But I saw the Stash Box, had to pick this up. You just get some stuff, you get a stash. I won't go into it in deep detail. I don't want Amazon blocking my video because of subversive thoughts or whatever. But it's a Stash Box. It's Cheech and Chong. What do you think is in here? Not the real thing. Calm down, lighten up. And then this is going to be the last release I talk about. I'm getting the fuck out of here. It's been 40 minutes. Stop Making Sense. Check this out. Nice. You get like a cloth-bound book style cover. It's 4K. You get the credits. The disc slips out. I ordered this directly from what is it? A24? A24, I think that's the company. A24? Yeah, anyway. Here is the actual case that the discs come in. Or is it just one disc? It's one disc. You open it up like a book. There's the disc. And is this the greatest concert movie ever? I don't know. I would argue it's well, I don't know. It's a concert. And I'm starting to blur up because whenever I show things, sometimes when I show things, my camera gets blurry. So I'm gonna hop out of here. I'm just gonna show you some pictures of this really quickly. You get a big thick book. There we go. I'm back. You get a big thick book of details, of track listings, of notes from the band and the director, Jonathan Demme. You guys know who that is. You get some slides from the show itself. It's a very nice release, very well thought out. Get some more pictures. San Francisco International Film Festival. Get some news clippings. This is a very nice compliment to one of the best, if not the best, concert film ever made. And I don't think it really even matters if you love Talking Heads all that much. This is a fantastic movie. They were on top of their game. They were at their peak when they made this movie. It was just, the timing was right, the director was right, these guys were in the right phase of their career. They had just released one of their best albums, Speaking in Tongues. Everything just came together. Everything gelled beautifully. And they made this movie. And it's really just a concert. You can call it a movie, but it's just them performing, and that's it. And this is the full performance. This isn't edited in any way. It's the full show. So, and I've watched this, and it sounds and looks amazing in 4K. I would recommend this to any music fan. Obviously, Talking Heads fans are going to pick this up, but I would recommend this to anybody who loves music and loves going to live shows. This is one of the greatest ever. I just happened to catch it on film. Really nice release. All right, I'm getting the hell out of here. There are my new releases. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you're well. And I hope it stops raining soon because I'm sick of this. Goodbye.